heard the strategy. You've seen the product. Now I'm here to show you the security. The security is a trust. Here we go, everybody. How we doing, Possible? We can do better than that. Okay, some of you all week, we've led into this. It's gonna be fun. First couple rows, I'm sorry in advance. I see some of you, I don't see anyone else. This is gonna be exciting. 3 main messages. Yes, it's gonna be security. How many woke up today and said cybersecurity, woohoo? All right, hopefully you'll go to bed and say woohoo. It's awesome. We're the people you don't wanna talk to until you want to talk to us. And then you have all the questions instead of asking it from the beginning. So first and foremost, I'm thankful. I'm gonna explain that in a minute. Secondly, I'm grateful. But the cool part of my job is to expressly take you through our journey, which has been nothing less than remarkable. So before we do that, let's talk about what security means. Some of you have seen this, some of you haven't. It's very small, so I need you to zoom in your eyes for me. Everybody, zoom. Some of you are doing it, that's awesome. All right, can you guys see this? No, you can't. That's okay. I brought a bigger one. Here we go. This is my network. You guys with me so far? Nope, good. Here we go. This chain, cell phone. Who has cell phones? Mini computers? Some of you. 1 or 2 of you don't. Not taking my calls. It's good. This side's your network. That's what your cell phone talks to, if you don't know. The chain, top chain is data going in. That's you texting. Bottom chain is data coming back. That's the reception. And this little ring in the middle, that's security. Simple, right? No? You guys think there's a punchline? I love it. So what really happens is this. There goes security. You still have a network. You're arguing with your CIO. But that's not what happens in my world. I need my security back. We try to keep here all the time. So as it's flowing, it goes in and out. Almost seamlessly. But that's because there's people behind the scenes doing all the things that I'm going to show you today. Isn't that cool? That's all I have. Just kidding. All right. Here we go. I believe every piece of data is connected to a larger story. I love working at this company in particular. We all chose our destiny. We chose where we're going to work. And there's always a why behind it. And I believe Teradata has positioned really well to take that piece of the story and help you and your customers reach that larger journey together. That's my why. I hope you all have one too. We talked about what security means. Now let's talk about our transformation. 3 years ago, we came in the store and we had this journey. So Steve, about 4.5 years ago, said, hey, we're a cloud-first company. 3 years ago, my immense challenge was how do we get from on-prem to cloud security? You may not have heard this phrase before, but we're going to teach it to you now. You guys with me? A lot of acronyms out of security. So say CNAP with me, CNAP. Cool, you're security people now. I love it. So what that means is Cloud Native Application Protection Platform. You guys with me? What does that really mean? It's a whole bunch of stuff, but it's the stuff that starts in the cloud to help you think about all the processing, all the workloads, all the management that goes into the development. We wanted to think about that before. So, how many of you have ever worked with a new colleague? Nobody's ever worked with a new colleague? Woo, oh, that's nice. So, my first day, a lot of energy, a lot of passion. You guys are probably feeling that now, right? So they're like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, everything. That never really wears off because we sell Red Bull. It's good. But the larger idea is, first thing is the cultural transformation. Culture is really, really important because here's the trick. I can change the widgets. I can change the process. I can write cool things in the policy. I can create frameworks. But if you don't show up, doesn't matter. Or what about those little things you promised me you never click on? I see some of you. All right, who's going to be honest and has clicked on an email in the last, I don't know, month? Awesome. Who else? Awesome. I missed. There we go. Perfect. Woo! All right. The idea of that fish. We're going to get through all the traditional layers of security. I'm going to show you them in a minute. It's crazy. But the traditional boundaries don't exist anymore. Now, picture this. What if I came and knocked on your door? That's me knocking. You say, the police. Just kidding. Okay, so I knock on your door and I want to say, hey, I'm the plumber. I want to change out all your pipes. You say, hey, how am I going to get water? I'm going to say, I'm not going to make a single hole. Nah. You're not going to be without water, not for 1 second. But we're going to change everything while you continue to live. How many of you think I could be successful? Not one person. I don't have that many shirts. But that's what we did here at Teradata. Why did we do it? We did it for you, the customers. That's the first part. The second part was the threats. The threat landscape changes. So today you have threats. It's pretty easy. I brought some stuff. Hope you don't mind. These are a little harder to see. But if you guys remember, one of the oldest magicians on the planet, his name is Harry Houdini. Who knows Harry Houdini? And he had one of these famous magic tricks. What did he do? He got upside down in a tank of water and put this on his wrist. And somehow he miraculously escaped and didn't drown. He did it a lot of times. This is a brute force. That's all this really is. It's a brute force lock. I could show you, but it takes too long. Then we get in today. This is a Schedule 40 lock. This is kind of like on-prem, right here. It's pretty simple. Everyone would agree that you can see, zoom in with your eyes again. This is not a key. It's not. It's like a comb, but a small one. What's interesting about this particular comb is I don't need it like a key. You can see the keys right here. If you know what to do, and you put it in the lock right, it opens right up. I know, that's where you say, wow, ooh. All right, you're killing me. All your garden sheds are not secure. And then we come in here. This is to show you a display of the lock. I won't display it now because I'm running out of time, but the idea here is this. That inside, what's put in here, is a Schlag door lock. How many live in homes? Those of you who don't, how many live in tents? Just kidding. All right, so what's here is a 7-pin. And what's interesting about this is all the pins don't matter. It's only the 6th pin. And if I know that, I just touch the 6th pin and it opens just like you have a key. Isn't that crazy? Now, if I go back to what is security, is it a noun, an adjective, or a verb? How does it make you feel? Because that's the magic. So if you come back here and we think about the landscape, then we think about transformation. The last thing we have to think about is how do we align across the business? Remember I said passionate new guy? I had to go my very first tenure in this company, and I had to go to my boss, who's sitting over there somewhere. And I had to say, I want to change everything. And she's like, Billy, you're too excited. And I'm like, but this is how we're going to get there. We got to get in front. To my surprise, it's another reason why I love this company. This doesn't happen very much in your career. Most of the time they say, no, settle down, get a plan, whatever. My boss gave me the full autonomy in conjunction with the entire ELT to go make these changes for all of you. And we did it. We did it in a little over 14 months. It's incredible. Across all the very long time I've been in this business, this has never happened before. It's been close, nice little goal, but not in that amount of time. It's remarkable. So what did we do? We invested in modern security technology. We invested in our people smartly. We invested in changing our frameworks and policies. The first thing we did is we built a framework of protection for all of you. Because in the cloud, what's different is this. Data can traverse anywhere from where it sits to the cloud. It bypasses those traditional layers of protections. So everything that you're seeing here below and in the layers, those are the things that we added or matured. Because remember, we were scaled for on-prem. And then what we said is on top of that, we want to go ahead and secure our company too. So some of this stuff, we said, hey, that's a great idea, not just for the product. Let's bring it back and secure Teradata. And we started upping our game. How many of you in your company, you've worked with your CISO? Nobody? No shirts for you. All right, that's for working with your CISO. Woo, good catch. The cool thing about this isn't just the headers on the top, but what we did with the operational security in the middle. Super important. We had to give visibility. And pretty soon, I'm going to show you exactly what that visibility is, and I'm going to throw data at you because you're data people, right? Right? All right, cool. Just checking. So, when we get here, this is really interesting. The pillars at the top
It's not just the strategy, but the pillars at the top represent our core objectives. We had to have a purpose for how we were going to look at data. We didn't have that really, I mean, we did, but it was a funky sort of maturity. It was really hard. So for example, when we wanted to see something, just something anomalous, it took us over 100 hours, it's actually 127, because we're specifically data people, to figure out what was wonky. That doesn't mean we had bad things happening. That just means it took us a long time to understand. With all of this stuff in place now, with the objectives and the tactics and the 24/7 and all the stuff in the middle, it's less than 15 seconds. In December 2021, we were looking at 20,000 events a week. I know, it's just a number. Feels like a lot, right? How many of you think we looked at more or less than that last week? How many of you say more? I actually can't see any of your hands, so it's cool. I'm assuming they go up. Okay, we looked at 70 billion with a B last week. I know, that's where you go, wow, that's a lot. So when we look at that, we say, what do we do with it? Over 90% of that 70 billion is now automated. So when things come in, it knows what to do because it's empowered by AI. It's empowered by data structures. It goes into the flow of where it needs to be, and it clears itself out. The other 8% or so, that's where the humans come in, and they're triaging your traditional level to 1 to 4 systems. And we're working with folks like IT and engineering and other folks to make sure that we remediate those very quickly. So again, if we go back 3 years, it took us about 3 hours, or excuse me, another 140 hours after the 127 hours to close it. You add all that together, that's a lot of hours. Today, we're finding it in less than 15 seconds, and we're closing it in about an hour and a half. So we go, woo! That's incredible. Okay, how many of you in your companies are doing it faster? None. How many think what we did is really cool? That's what I think too. All right. Now, before we go any further, it's really cool. I've asked this question a lot since I've been here, and I've gotten a few different answers, so I made up my own. Just kidding. Everyone know behind our logo, we have a dot. Some people call it a ball. We have a dot. The dot to me is very meaningful. And I think it's interesting because it represents our commitment to excellence. Just like all of you expect that from us. It reflects our focus on delivering solutions that help unlock the value from your data. And it's subtle, yet a powerful reminder of our mission. So right now behind you, we have some ushers coming through. It's kind of like church, they don't want your money. We're giving you the dots. So when you go back home with your companies, you can be part of our ecosystem too. So I appreciate you. That's my second thanks. Everybody, woo! I'm telling you, big giveaways here. All right. This is really cool now. So now we're shifting from the technology change into the philosophy change. So now this is the journey of by design methodologies. Now we had to get folks and say, hey, listen, how from when you wake up, you think cybersecurity, and then you go through your process and do all the things you're doing that you've heard over the last couple of days, and how do we deliver something that's impactful, powerful, so you can take it back to your teams? And we did that. We started with the people. We gave them sandboxes, which, if you're not technical, sandbox is the non-production environment where you can go to play stuff, break stuff, learn. And then you go into production and sort of publish. We gave them that. Then we gave them training. Then what we did is we took all these different philosophies around how we scan code, whether it's in pre-prod, all the way to prod, open source, stuff you write, compile it together, and figure out how to work out all those risks. Then we said, hey, what if it's just all of us? That's kind of weird, right? So then we went out externally and said, hey, can you help us? And we went and got crowdsourced pen testers from the outside to come in and check our doors and windows and tires. It's incredible. Then we have community researchers, and this is all they do. They want to go find the thing. So instead of us putting our hand up like a Heisman and pushing them away, we invited them in and asked them to help. So what you get for you guys is better quality, and that's what all that means. And the blue box right there, is we have incredibly high standards when it comes to security. The other cool thing I love about this company is I think we've been 15 years in a row one of the most ethical companies in the world, which means we do not compromise on right and wrong. I love that about this company. I love that about RELT, and I love that about all of you, how you demand so much of us. I didn't have gray hair before I started working here. This is another visualization of all the things that we've added. So again, it's a roadmap. When you look at security, you look at the upper, as you're looking at it left, and you work your way around the wheel. And the idea is now there's 14, 15, 16 things on the board that we've added, and we're still looking to add more, which you're seeing on the right in the lower 4 or 5. That's happening. Anything that's on the green doesn't mean it's not in place. It means it hasn't met my incredibly high standards just yet. So one more thing. This is a box. I show it all the time. It's just a box. If you were here, I would pass it around and show you and whatever. But what's cool about the box, I call it my innovation box. It's awesome. Because if you do the right thing and you know exactly what to do, the box opens. But I promise you, if I pass this around and start throwing it at you, a lot of you are not going to be able to open this box. It's like security. It's a puzzle. It comes together. You have to feel it and see it. Just know, we use frameworks. We have a philosophy. We stick to that philosophy. We measure throughout the entire wheel. And then we go to the outside, and we get external validation, which all of you have asked for. In the products, if you look at them side by side, here's the major themes. Here's the takeaways for you. Each one of these rows have subcategories of the specificity of the security that we've added. It's all in line with everything that I've just said. Everything. There is nobody on the planet that can convince me that we don't have world-class security right now today at Teradata. Not one of you. Not the world. Now, what's different? This is really important. We can add all the security in the world into our products. We can then deliver you a world-class product. But if you yourself don't do some simple things like hook up MFA. Who does single-factor authentication? How many of you have 4-digit passwords in your iPhone? I know at least a couple of you. I've seen it this week. Here, you need a beanie. Over here. You need a beanie too. Crazy. Change your passwords, people. It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. 4 digits don't work. Single-factor authentication is of the past. Multi-factor authentication. You must. The second thing, geographical filtering. Why wouldn't you do that? Close off the connections from Russia. Close off the connections from South China. Throw anything that's North Korea. We don't have no business there. Turn them off. That's your impossible travel. It looks like you. It may seem like you. They're going to come in. You're going to get those emails that are repeating, saying, answer me, answer me, answer me. Eventually, you get irritated and you answer and you let them in. Don't do that. Last thing, we spend as an industry about $14 billion with a B on people security. That's us, that's locks, that's keys, that's passcodes, that's readers. If I had a little bit longer, I would show you this little guy right here. It's called a flipper. Look it up. You can control your remote TV, your credit cards, your little badges, all of it right here I have in my pocket. You'll never know it hits you because I'm super nerdy, right? I brought some cards. You want to see it later? This is not a deck of cards. I'll show you. We'll make your credit card in one of those cards. You're ordering Amazon or drinks later. The idea is change the passwords. And then lastly, rotate your keys. Again, how many actors are on your network? Anybody, shout it out. 1,000. Any, over or under 1,000? Over? There's 2. I know, it's crazy. Trick question. People and machines. People and machines. You spend all the security on people, but you keep connecting machines. Rotate those keys. Now, we can't leave without talking about regulation. It's one of the most powerful things on the planet. We get more and more regulation, but none of it is consistent for security. So we have to find the minimum standards in order to achieve, which we have done. You're not talking about hundreds of controls. You're talking about thousands of controls globally. You're talking about new laws that continue to be here and grow, be rolled out. So some of you might think about PCI or ISO or high trust. Some of you might care about things like, I don't know, IRAP or FedRAMP or GDPR. Some of you might be thinking, what about DORA or NIS2? We're thinking about those things too. We're also thinking about a lot more inside of our product. I know this one's at iChart, but we'll give it to you. This is the roadmap of how we achieve compliance. So these are all the independent external validations of everything that I just said. You guys with me so far? All right. So as we move to close, like anything that I do, we want to go out with a huge bang. You guys with me? So we had something a little bit special made, and I hope you'll enjoy me here. I knew my arm would get tired, so I brought a friend. How many of you have ever been to like a Celtics game or a Clippers game? My friend Eric here. Give it up for Eric Pittman. Eric's going to help me. Here we go. Come on, Eric, we fell short.
I don't know what's going on. Here we go. These are some loves. We don't know what's really on these shirts. We just found them in a storeroom. This side it doesn't like. I don't know what's going on. Who wants a shirt? It doesn't like that side, Eric. Who in the middle wants a shirt? My name is Billy Spears, and I can't thank you enough.